We're very glad to have you with us on the morning call yet again. This is the broadcast. We're bringing you the very latest broadcast from across Africa, the very latest news stories from across Africa and elsewhere in the world. We begin with Senegal, where President Macky Sall has approved an increase in scholarships and a reduction in the price of meals in public universities in the country. The approval, which is in favor of students, comes after a 2-week-old strike staged to protest the death of a colleague during the demonstrations over welfare. The 25-year-old Mohamedou Fallou Sene was shot dead on the 15th of May at the Gaston-Berger University during the clashes that erupted with the gendarmerie.
And the head of state, whose candidacy for a second presidential term in February 2019 is likely, also reiterated his instruction that is setting payment deadlines no later than the 5th of each month, while recent events have been triggered by protests against late payment of scholarships. With us on the phone from Dakar is Mr. Ahmadou Baba, President of the Student Association of the Science Faculty, and Sheikh Anta University.
Le 5 de chaque mois, alors que les récents événements ont été déclenchés par des protestations justement contre les retards de paiement de ces bourses. Avec nous,
Mr. Ahmadou Baba, 2 weeks ago the students' protest began and the President has given you some offers. Are you satisfied with the drop in the price of meal vouchers in the university canteen and the increase of student scholarships?
Le président Macky Sall vous a annoncé lundi lors de votre audience avec lui la diminution du prix du ticket de restauration dans les cantines universitaires et l'augmentation des bourses des étudiants. On peut dire aujourd'hui que vous êtes un syndicaliste comblé?
Il ne suffit pas seulement de signaler la diminution du prix de tickets de restauration.
It's not enough just to point out the reduction in the price of meal cards and the increase of scholarships. But there are measures, other very important measures that have been taken by the head of state, especially in the education field. There are currently 30 buses that have been purchased and made available to universities in Senegal, including 6 for the Sheikh Anta University, and the rest will be distributed to other universities. There is also the rehabilitation of medical services within universities and construction for universities that do not currently have any. There are also other things, the strengthening of the capacity of pharmacies in university medical centers and increase of beds for housing. The aid allocated to students, we did not receive a grant, which was 60,000 today and has been revised to 100,000 francs. We can say that most of our demands from a social point of view have been taken into account. There are a few hiccups, of course, but today the reason we are out on the streets was to demand justice.
Alors l'essentiel de vos revendications...
You said that most of your demands have been taken into account, but what about the dismissal of certain ministers, which was among the leading demands that pushed you to the streets?
Des étudiants qui sont descendus dans la rue ces dernières semaines.
The dismissal of ministers, namely the Minister of Higher Education, the Minister of Interior, the Minister of Armed Forces and the Minister of Finance, we asked for it. The chairperson made it clear at the hearing that he took due note. Because government business is not something that can be revisited overnight at any time. Everyone deplored what they did, and we are going to find the guilty parties and bring them to justice. But I said to the students once again, it's not just a question of asking for the dismissal of ministers, but we are fundamentally asking that our socio-educational conditions be established so that students can flourish within the very framework of the studies and have good results tomorrow.
Une dernière question, Monsieur Bamba.
And last question, Mr. Bamba. No date has been announced for the reopening of the lecture halls. Are there still any hindrances that are preventing you from getting back to the university? Yes, I think. Yes, the problem I think is only at the University of Gaston Berger. But of course, it's the same university where the student was killed. But we must remember that this university has 15,000 students, and we at Cheikh Anta Diop University have more than 87,000 students. That is more than 70% of Senegal students combined. So if today we have seen the opportunity and the necessity to return to the lecture halls, I don't see what would prevent others from doing so. Unfortunately, our comrades of St. Louis had said, all of us had said it, through this problem, we do not want any intermediary. We don't want any intermediary. We just want to speak directly to the president. If he calls us for a meeting and some of our comrades choose to ignore the meeting or not to attend, I think it would be responsible. If we do not agree, we'll show the public that we do not agree at all, and we'll find other alternatives to continue the negotiations.
Monsieur Bamba, nous allons devoir fermer.
Thank you for agreeing to answer questions, Mr. Bamba. Amadou Bamba, President of the Students' Association of the Faculty of Science at Cheikh Anta Diop University.
Merci d'avoir accepté de répondre à nos questions, Monsieur Bamba. Amadou Bamba, président de l'Amicale des étudiants de la Faculté des sciences de l'Université Cheikh Anta Diop à Dakar.